Let me ask you a question that will shake the very ground you're standing on. Why not you? Why not you to step into the life you've been dreaming about? Why not you to build that business, create that wealth, break that generational curse, and live the life you know deep down you were created to live? See? The problem is not that you're not capable. The problem is you've been convinced you're ordinary when in reality, you've been handcrafted by God Himself for extraordinary. You've been sitting in the passenger seat of your own life, waiting for someone else to give you permission to drive. Well, guess what? Permission granted. And the keys have been in your hands the whole time. You already have everything you need inside you. That's not just a nice sounding phrase. It's a fact. The problem is most people are waiting for something external to happen before they move. They're waiting for the right degree, the right contacts, the right amount of money, the right time. But let me tell you, the right time doesn't show up like a bus you can wait for at the corner. The right time is created by the person who's willing to take the first step, even when the path is unclear. The seed of greatness that was planted in you at birth doesn't need more rain. It needs you to start digging in the soil and letting it grow. Every single thing you need to start to move, to build, God already placed it in you. The question is not, do I have what it takes? The question is, when will I start using what I already have? Think about it. How many times have you looked at someone else achieving incredible success and thought, wow, they must have had all the resources, all the connections, all the luck. What if I told you that most of them started with less than what you have right now? The difference wasn't the size of their bank account or their network. It was the size of their belief. They acted like they were already equipped before anyone else believed in them. They understood that a vision backed by relentless action is worth more than any resource you could ever wait for. Waiting for permission is just another way of saying, I'm afraid to find out what I'm really capable of. The truth is, greatness rarely comes from people who feel ready. It comes from those who move while still feeling unqualified. Because here's the hook. What qualifies you is not your resume, it's your results. You can read every book on success, listen to every podcast, attend every seminar, but until you step into the arena, nothing changes. You don't learn confidence before you start. You build it by showing up. You don't find your voice by sitting in silence. You find it by speaking, even when your voice shakes. You don't discover your strength by avoiding challenges. You discover it by facing them head on. Here's something most people won't tell you. The gap between where you are and where you want to be is not as big as you think. But it will always feel massive if you never take the first step. Imagine standing at the edge of a cliff, staring across at another cliff where your dream is waiting. You don't need to see the whole bridge. You just need to take the first plank and place it down. Each action you take adds another plank until, before you know it, you're walking across to the life you've been imagining. And here's the kicker. You're building that bridge with materials you already have in your hands. The knowledge you've gained through your struggles, the resilience you've built through your failures, the creativity you've developed in your quiet moments. All of it is enough to begin. Too many people get caught in the trap of comparison, thinking they're missing something special that others have. But comparison blinds you to your own inventory. You've got tools in your toolbox that you haven't even pulled out yet. You've got strengths that have been lying dormant, waiting for you to wake them up. And sometimes it's not about getting more, It's about using what's already there. Stop thinking you need to have the perfect plan before you begin. Progress doesn't come from perfection. It comes from direction. When you move in the direction of your calling, you'll start seeing doors open that you didn't even know existed. I want you to picture this. There's a version of you 5 years from now who is living a completely different life. They've achieved the dreams you're thinking about right now. They're financially free, living with purpose, making an impact, and walking with confidence. Now, here's the twist. That future version of you didn't have any extra magic or opportunity than the version of you that's standing here today. The only difference is that they made the decision to act now, to stop waiting, to stop doubting, and to use what they already had. The most dangerous lie you can believe is, I'll start when I'm ready. You'll never feel ready. That's the point. The process makes you ready. The act of moving forward forces you to grow into the person who can handle the blessing you've been praying for. You're not supposed to be fully prepared before you start. You're supposed to become prepared as you go. If you think you're missing something, it's only because you haven't discovered the power of what you already carry. You were created with intention. Nothing about your design was accidental. Your talents, your personality, your experiences, both the good and the painful, are part of a custom toolkit designed for your purpose. But tools only work if you pick them up and use them. Imagine having a gold mine under your house and still complaining about being broke. That's what happens when you keep saying you're not ready. You're sitting on gold and refusing to dig. The world doesn't need you to be perfect, it needs you to be willing. Willing to start, willing to fail, willing to learn, and willing to get back up. If you've been waiting for a sign, this is it. The life you want is on the other side of your decision to start now, not tomorrow, not next week, now, because every day you delay is a day your gift goes unused. And somewhere, someone is waiting for exactly what you have. Your past does not dictate your future. Let me say that again, because it's a truth that can change everything for you. Your history is not your destiny. Too many people are held hostage by what happened yesterday, last year, or even decades ago. They wear their past like a heavy chain, convincing themselves that because of failures, mistakes, or circumstances beyond their control, they are permanently stuck. But here's the reality. The past is a lesson, not a life sentence. It's not the author of your future, you are. The second you decide to rewrite your story, to stop living in yesterday's shadow, you unlock the door to new possibilities. That's the power of choice, and it's the ultimate game changer. I want you to consider this. Your past might have been filled with pain, rejection, or disappointment, but those experiences are not your prison cell. They are your training ground. Every setback, every closed door was preparing you for the moment you are stepping into now. Think about the greatest success stories you know. Almost every one of them includes a chapter filled with struggle. What separated those who made it from those who gave up was their refusal to let their past define their future. They understood that failure is not falling down, it's staying down. They got back up, dusted themselves off, and kept moving toward their vision, no matter how long the road. Here's a hook to keep close. If you live with your eyes fixed on your past mistakes, you'll never see the new opportunities right in front of you. Your mindset is the lens through which you view your life. If you zoom in on your scars and wounds, you'll see a life of defeat. But if you zoom out, you'll see a masterpiece in progress, a story still being written by your faith, courage, and persistence. You must make the deliberate choice to look forward, to focus on what's possible instead of what's been lost. This shift is not easy. It requires intentionality and sometimes a complete reset of your thinking, but it's necessary if you want to change your life. Many people think that overcoming the past means forgetting it or pretending it never happened. That's not the case. Healing and growth come from acknowledging your past honestly, forgiving yourself and others, and then deciding to move beyond it. You can't change the chapters already written, but you hold the pen for the chapters yet to come. This is your chance to be the hero of your own story, not the victim of your history. You may ask, but Myron, how do I stop being defined by my past when it's all I've known? The answer lies in the power of your present decisions. Every choice you make today, how you respond to challenges, how you invest your time, how you speak to yourself, either reinforces your past limitations or builds a new foundation for your future. Success is built on daily habits and mindset shifts. The moment you start acting like the person you want to become, you start becoming that person. Your past no longer has the final say because your present actions are louder than yesterday's mistakes. Let me tell you, your past is full of valuable lessons that can be turned into your greatest strength. The struggles taught you resilience, the failures gave you insight, and the pain developed your empathy. These are tools for your future success. When you embrace your history as part of your journey, rather than an anchor holding you down, you unlock a powerful force within you. Your story becomes a testimony that inspires others, a beacon of hope that says, if I can rise, so can you. The hook you need to hear is this: there is no destiny in your past, only potential in your future. You can't control what happened before, but you have absolute control over where you go from here. The first step is forgiving yourself for the mistakes you made and giving yourself permission to move forward. Nobody's perfect. Everyone stumbles. The difference is those who succeed refuse to be defined by their stumbles. They use them as stepping stones to climb higher. I want you to imagine your life 5 years from now if you stop letting your past control your present. Picture the doors that will open, the relationships that will flourish, the peace that will settle in your mind, and the confidence you will gain knowing you are no longer a prisoner of your history. This is not just wishful thinking. It's a future you can create by choosing to take back your power today. So when doubt creeps in and whispers, you're still that person who failed before, shout back, I'm not that person anymore. I'm a new creation, evolving every day, stronger and wiser than before. Your past is part of your story, but it is not the title of your book. You get to write the next chapter with boldness, faith, and determination. The only thing standing between you and the future you want is the decision to step into your power right now. Excuses are the enemy of excellence. Right now, somewhere inside of you, there's a voice that's whispering reasons why you can't start, why you shouldn't try, why you don't deserve success. That voice. It's the greatest thief of dreams. It's the sneakiest enemy that keeps you trapped in your comfort zone, telling you that you need more time, more money, more experience before you can step up. But here's the truth. Every successful person you admire has stared that voice down and said, not today. The biggest difference between those who win and those who settle is the ability to silence excuses and take action anyway. I want you to realize that excuses are just dressed lies your mind tells you to protect you from discomfort and risk. They feel safe. They feel familiar. But safety is the enemy of growth. If you want to break through to a new level in your life, you've got to get uncomfortable. You've got to step into situations where you might fail, where you might not have all the answers, but where you're growing anyway. Excuses keep you stuck in a cycle of mediocrity. They chain you to yesterday's limits when you were less experienced, less confident, less courageous. But today, with everything you've learned and everything you're capable of, excuses don't serve you. They sabotage you. Here's a hook to hold on to. The world doesn't owe you an excuse. The marketplace doesn't care about your reasons. Opportunities don't wait for your perfect timing. What the world responds to is excellence, persistence, and the willingness to show up consistently. The moment you start making excuses, you give your power away. You let fear and doubt take the driver's seat while you become a passenger watching your dreams fade away. But when you say, no more excuses, you reclaim control, you become the author of your own destiny. Let me break it down further. Excuses often stem from a scarcity mindset. You believe you don't have enough time, resources, knowledge, or support. But scarcity thinking is a mindset that can be changed. What if you looked at every I don't have statement and replaced it with how can I get? How can I learn? How can I create? How can I find? The people who rise above excuses are solution seekers. They focus on possibilities instead of limitations. They see obstacles as temporary and opportunities as endless. They understand that the road to success is rarely smooth, but it's always worth it. There's a powerful story I want you to remember. Oprah Winfrey, one of the most influential women in the world, was born into poverty, faced rejection, and had more reasons to quit than most people. Yet, she never accepted excuses as a valid reason to stop. Instead, she used every setback as fuel to propel her forward. Her journey teaches us that your circumstances don't determine your success. Your response does. If Oprah had listened to the excuses around her, you wouldn't be hearing her voice inspiring millions today. Here's a hook you don't want to miss. Every excuse you make is a missed opportunity to grow, to learn, to get better. It's a missed chance to move closer to your dreams. So the next time you feel an excuse creeping in, whether it's, I'm too tired, I don't have enough money, or I'm not ready, stop and ask yourself, is this truth or fear disguised as truth? Most often, it's fear trying to keep you small, trying to keep you safe in a place that's comfortable but unfulfilling. Now, let me ask you, what is more important to you? Your comfort or your dreams? Because here's the reality, your comfort zone is the enemy of your destiny. If you want to get unstuck, if you want to be the best version of yourself, you must start to challenge every excuse that stands in your way. You have to decide that your dreams are bigger than your fears, that your vision is clearer than your doubts, and that your actions will speak louder than your excuses. When you shift your mindset from excuse making to solution finding, you begin to see life differently. You become resourceful, resilient, and relentless. You find ways to make things happen instead of waiting for things to happen. And here's the secret. The more you do this, the easier it becomes. The muscle of discipline grows stronger. The habit of excellence becomes your new normal. You've heard it said that winners do what losers won't. Winners don't sit around explaining why they can't. They get up and figure out how they can. They embrace challenges as opportunities to learn and improve. They understand that success is not about perfection, but progress. Every small step forward is a victory against the excuses that used to hold them back. So here's a challenge for you today. The next time you feel yourself making an excuse, Stop and replace it with a commitment to take one action, no matter how small, that moves you towards your goal. That's how excellence is built, one intentional choice at a time. That's how you become unstoppable. Remember, your dreams are calling. Don't let excuses answer the phone. The moment you say, yes, I can, is the moment your life begins to change. That simple affirmation is the gateway to unlocking your potential, to moving from a place of doubt and hesitation into one of purpose and power. It might sound too simple, but faith in yourself, the deep, unwavering belief that you are capable, is the foundation upon which all success is built. Without this internal yes, no amount of strategy, education, or external help will take you far. It's the starting line, the ignition switch, the key that turns your dreams into reality. So if you want to become the best of the best, the first thing you have to do is get your mind right and say to yourself, I am worthy, I am capable, and I am ready. When you commit to that internal yes, you begin to see yourself differently. Your self-image shifts from one of limitation to one of possibility. This shift is powerful because it changes how you show up in the world. People can sense confidence, and it attracts opportunities and relationships that propel you forward. You stop shrinking back because of fear or self-doubt and start stepping into the light of your own greatness. This isn't arrogance. It's the natural result of accepting the gifts and talents you've been given and choosing to use them fully. The hook here is this: most people fail before they even start because they never say yes to themselves. They are waiting for someone else to validate them, to give them permission, or to hand them a certificate of readiness. But life doesn't work that way. Waiting for external validation is like waiting for a bus that never comes. You have to get on the bus yourself and start moving. When you say yes to yourself, you become your own biggest supporter, your own coach, your own motivator. Saying yes to yourself also means embracing your imperfections and past mistakes. It means understanding that your worth is not based on your performance, but on your inherent value as a human being. When you accept this, you free yourself from the chains of comparison and judgment. You stop trying to be perfect and start striving to be authentic. And authenticity is magnetic. It pulls people, resources, and opportunities towards you because it's real. The world is full of people trying to be someone else. Be the one who says, I am enough just as I am, and I am ready to grow. Here's a story to keep close. When Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team, many thought his dreams were over. But he didn't let that define him. Instead, he said yes to himself and his potential. He said yes to countless hours of practice, to pushing beyond limits, and to believing he could be the best. That yes became the foundation for his legendary career. Like Michael Jordan, your yes is not just a statement, it's a commitment to do what it takes, no matter the obstacles. Another hook to hold on to is that saying yes to yourself opens your mind to possibilities you never considered. When you believe you can achieve something, your brain starts scanning for solutions instead of problems. You become more creative, more resourceful, and more resilient. Challenges turn into puzzles to solve, setbacks become lessons, and failure becomes just a temporary stop on the way to success. But saying yes isn't a one-time event, it's a daily practice. Every morning, you have to choose to affirm your worth and your ability. Every challenge, you have to remind yourself that you can handle it. Every time fear or doubt tries to creep in, you have to push back with a stronger yes. It's this daily discipline that builds the muscle of confidence and resilience, making you unstoppable over time. You must also realize that your yes is a signal to the universe that you are ready to receive. It's like putting out a flare that says, I'm here and I'm ready for what's next. When you do this, you start attracting mentors, opportunities, and resources that align with your vision. Doors that were once closed begin to open. You begin to move from scarcity to abundance, from limitation to freedom. So let me ask you this. What would your life look like if you started saying yes to yourself right now? What dreams would you pursue? What risk would you take? What version of yourself would you become? The answer to those questions is the key to unlocking your best life. You have to believe in you before anyone else can. The journey to being the best of the best begins with that powerful, life-changing yes. There is no shortcut to mastery. Excellence is a journey, not a destination. The moment you decide to become the best of the best, you commit to a lifetime of learning, practicing, and refining your craft. You step onto a path where persistence outperforms talent and discipline outshines motivation. What separates the truly great from the mediocre is not just natural ability, but relentless consistency in showing up every single day. You have to understand that becoming exceptional means embracing the grind, the repetitive, sometimes boring work that others avoid. It's the small daily habits compounded over time that create breakthroughs. If you want to reach the top, you must be willing to do what others won't. Put in the work when no one is watching. Push past fatigue and keep your eyes on the prize even when progress feels slow. Here's the hook: the world loves to celebrate overnight successes, but behind every overnight story is years of sweat, sacrifice, and sacrifice. No one stumbles onto greatness accidentally. You have to be willing to outwork your doubts, your fears, and your distractions. Excellence is not a one-time effort. It's a lifestyle. When you embrace that mindset, you shift your focus from quick wins to sustainable growth. The path to mastery is paved with moments when you choose discipline over convenience, long-term vision over short-term pleasure. Many people give up just before their breakthrough because the journey feels too hard. But here's the truth. The difference between giving up and success is often just a little more effort. The moment you think you've hit your limit is exactly when you need to push a little harder. That's where champions are made. You must train your mind to resist the urge to quit, to see challenges as opportunities to grow stronger rather than signs that you're failing. This mental toughness is what separates the best of the best from the rest of the pack. One of the biggest hooks I want you to remember is that mastery requires humility. The moment you think you know it all, you stop growing. The best in any field are lifelong students. They seek out mentors, they listen more than they talk, and they constantly ask themselves, how can I get better today? This hunger for improvement keeps them sharp, adaptable, and ahead of the curve. No matter how much success you achieve, there is always room to grow. Embrace that mindset, and you'll never become complacent. Consistency is the secret weapon. You don't become the best overnight, but you can become better every day. Each practice session, each project, each effort adds up. It's like stacking bricks one by one to build a wall. You may not see the wall growing with every brick, but over time, that wall becomes a fortress. The same is true for your skills and your life. Small improvements compounded daily lead to extraordinary results. So don't underestimate the power of showing up and doing the work consistently. Another critical piece is resilience. The journey to being the best of the best is filled with setbacks, failures, and moments of doubt. But resilience is what keeps you moving forward when the road gets tough. It's about bouncing back faster, learning from mistakes, and staying committed to your vision no matter what. Resilience is built through experience. Every time you fall and get back up, you become stronger and more prepared for the next challenge. The best never let failure define them. Instead, they let it refine them. I want you to imagine the person you want to become 5 years from now. That person didn't get there by luck. They got there by making a daily commitment to excellence. They embraced the grind when no one was watching, pushed past obstacles that would stop others, and remained hungry for growth even after achieving success. That vision of your future self is within reach, but it requires you to commit today. It requires you to be relentless, disciplined, and passionate about your craft. Here's a challenge for you. Take a moment and ask yourself, am I willing to do what it takes every single day to be the best of the best? If the answer is yes, then start acting like it now. Stop waiting for the perfect time, the perfect conditions, or the perfect motivation. The only thing standing between you and mastery is your willingness to start and keep going. You are capable of more than you think, but it won't happen by accident. It will happen because you decided to show up, do the work, and never settle for less than your best. Remember, mastery is a marathon, not a sprint. Pace yourself, stay focused, and keep pushing forward. Your future self will thank you for the effort you invest today. And when you finally reach that level of excellence, when you become the best of the best, you'll realize it was the daily commitment and resilience that made all the difference. So keep going. Stay consistent. And watch how your life transforms when you decide to become unstoppable. So I'll leave you with this. From this moment on, every time you hear the whisper in your head saying, why you? You answer back, why not me? Why not me to build the life I've been dreaming about? Why not me to make an impact in this world? Why not me to leave a legacy that outlives me? You are one decision away from a completely different life. Make it. And when you do, you won't just change your life, you'll change generations. Because when you rise, you give others permission to rise too. And that, my friend, is exactly why it should be you.